Hello, everyone! Good evening out there to all of the wonderful Free Enterprise fans, all of the very hyped Free Enterprise fans. We're just here to have a little discussion, and y'all got a hype train going? Y'all are fantastic. Hi, I'm Scala. I'm the little black mage here in the back. I now have magic. That's why I now do the proper FF4 NPC wiggles. And I'm going to be your host tonight. We have a absolutely wonderful collection of folks here for you to talk about the tournament. And then we're going to also do some fun reveals. It's going to be a really good time. So how about we start with that trash can all the way over to the side. What's going on in there?
Yeah, y'all don't want to know, but this garbage juice is delicious. Hey everyone, it's Possum.
Oh, hi, I'm Allie. I hope everyone's having a wonderful...
Might just...
Hello? What?
Oh, just like, Allie, just so you know, just hold down your push talk just a smidge longer. But anyway, Solaris, go ahead, please.
Okay, great. Hi, I'm Solaris. That's it.
Hello, I'm Xenocat.
And hi, I'm the guy not at the bar. I'm Martin.
I offered you a place at the bar. You're like, no, I want my own table.
Look, there are a lot of drinks on the table. It's more space. This is important.
I believe the question was, wait, I get my own table?
Yeah! You were all excited to have a table.
Yeah!
Martin is being our special guest for this evening. Going to help us talk flags. So... also, to answer your question in chat, yes, there are free endless breadsticks. Have you ever met me? But let's start off. We're going to talk a little bit about the flag sets. I know people have had some time to kind of have some time with these flags, kind of get used to them. But for people who maybe are just coming in fresh on this tournament, why don't we talk a little bit about the flags? So we'll talk about the Blue Moon first. We have an example flags. We have the full flag set up there for you. But also do like our really big thing up front, which is Zemus Zone 5 is going to be the first tournament where all the objectives are going to be boss hunts. Now, both flag sets, they're going to require two of chat's favorite bosses. That's Golbez and the Alt Gauntlet. And then Blue Moon is going to include the entire pool of bosses. You might get something hard, you might get something easy. It's going to be completely random what you get. Both flag sets also are 7 of 8 objectives, so that means there's going to be some differing paths leading to the crystal. Also means that you do not have to always last location that boss. So have you all been, those of you who have been practicing up, have you all been enjoying the boss hunts?
Yes.
Boss hunts are pretty interesting because the key item logic just really doesn't care about bosses. Your boss could be literally anywhere. Zot 1 is a real favorite that's kind of come up in practice. Your boss could just be sitting there. It doesn't require a key item, but does take time to go up there.
It's a very nice change of pace from the Adamant Cup, where so often it was 15, 16, 17 out of 17 key items. There are times where you can finish these seeds with 4, or 7, or 9, and there's a lot of times where you get these really weird situations where you have to decide, do I keep chasing key items I don't need? Do I keep going after bosses? What is my modus operandi on these? Like, there's so many different things that the boss on flags that can throw at you, and runner adaptability is of the utmost importance. So I think we're going to see some amazing decision making by runners. That's one of the things I'm most looking forward to on this.
Some opportunity for amazing decision making, and yeah, just real changes in decision making about when, like for instance, when darkness shows up. I think this tournament, it's going to go on record, I think the moon is going to be a lot more important this tournament than it has in past tournaments as far as like getting there immediately because of bosses. Despite, well, of course the name and it fits, it's on brand, but like functionally, it's also functionally true.
Yes. It's a nice little benefit though to be on brand.
It is. It's great.
That was totally not a happy accident, by the way.
Yeah, not at all.
Also, so the Blue Moon is also a return to Twildish Sstandard. So Trap Chest deep dives into low traffic areas and treasury ratings will pay off with some very, very shiny items. Bedward is also going to have a potential key item, as we have a K nofree is not enabled this time around. So again, changing up some of the routing, also making it so that way, you know, you have your shop and treasure routing to be taken care of as well.
Yeah, one of the
Definitely
interesting
wanna be
things that...
checking.
Go ahead, Allie.
You'll definitely be wanting to check your mist caves, especially if you find a boss there. Go ahead, loot mist cave, especially if you have exit. We fixed that glitch. It doesn't blind you anymore. It's great.
Yeah, no more yellow screen of doom when exiting out of Mist Cave, as we affectionately learned, you know, what that did, and it blinded us every time. But it's going to be a very interesting thing seeing where folks go to loot. Places like Eblin Castle, if you have a Cecil, become incredibly high value. There is some ideology that, you know, because of those trap chests and how they're weighted, there are some folks, myself included on Blue Moon, I'm going to open boxes and open trap chests until I find a holy sword for a Cecil. Maybe not the same for everyone else, but I want that big hit and stick.
Crystal sword, Cecil, go first.
Yeah, I think
Oh, go
I
ahead.
think we'll see a lot of plays into Eblin Castle if that Cecil shows up, but because we only have the 7 characters available, you might not end up finding that Cecil, and then it becomes, are these trap chests even worth it, or am I just good to go with whatever I found lying around for my other characters?
Yeah, and open routing in general, especially with the free key item, the characters, really depends on your starting character. Twildish, you know, Eblin Castle really has high quality in Twildish, but when your characters are at Watery Pass and Dampion and Mysidia and Ordeal, all of that stuff takes you away from Eblin Castle, right? Which you can find a way to route in to go to Eblin Castle, but you might not want to, especially if you find stuff like along the way. Basically, it's interesting for like the kind of divergence of where you start versus like without the see no earn stuff. Where like last tournament we kind of saw everybody go to Eblin Castle and then start their checks.
I will agree with all of this, having played many of these seeds. There is no standard opener to this flag set. There's no, hey, go get the characters or anything like that. It's like you said, it depends on your, you know, kind of starting characters. You know, you get greedy, decide to do Eblin, and I'll find out that Bedward has an Earth Crystal in his hand. You're not very happy. So,
Or you get greedy, and then you find out, hey, by the way, every other character in the seed is a mage.
Yeah, exactly, and I love Blue Moon because of the treasure setting and the fact that it creates so much randomization to it. It's not just, okay, you know, get the characters, figure out how you're going to do this and go. It's, you know, where are you looting? When are you looting? When do you stop looting? And, you know, do you play, because of the loot, do you play it like Falcon % where you're down the hook route immediately? Do you do earth checks? There's so much variance in Blue Moon that I don't think you'll ever see the same, you know, 2 people racing do the exact same thing. Like, they will be all over the place, and that makes for some great entertainment, I think.
Yeah, there's variance even with picking characters up. We were just talking about this the other day. I forget if you were... actually don't know if you were playing Blue or Red Moon practice, but y'all were talking about earlier, Martin. There was a seed you played where you picked up characters, like you went to Mysidia and then Ordeals, and then you had 5 characters. You're like, actually, I'm good. I'm not even going to check any more characters because I don't care, because I have like Cecil and I'm just going to go grab a, you know, like those situations will come up. It's really interesting.
Yeah, very much so. And, you know, obviously with, you know, I know Scala will get to this, but with the life glitch being on is, those 5 characters, if one of them is a Tella, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm happy. Like, yeah, the other characters, Slingshot and things like that, but, there may be times where you just, these races, we've seen playing these races decided by seconds or, ties.
Don't you dare.
I'm just throwing that out there. They do exist. But yeah, fading those, cutscenes take time. So it's like, all right, well, I'm just going to skip Watery Pass and whatever character is in there. Didn't need it that much. So.
We did talk about characters. We do have, this is our first tournament using See No Earned. So this means that you only get characters from free checks. So that's going to be the Watery Pass, Mysidia, Mount Ordeals, and Damsian. Otherwise, when you get to where you'd normally have a character check, there will either be no one at all, or sometimes you get a cute little piggy.
Is this where we get to talk about the pig meta?
Yes, please talk about pig meta.
Are we going to blow all your minds with the pig meta? There is actually a pig meta now.
But are you going to say what it is, or do I have to say what it is? No.
We can talk about that later. I'll say this: the color of pigs matter.
Yes.
Oh yes.
And they mean different things in different locations.
It's a fun little side effect of limited palettes.
It is.
Also, Siva Wall and Demist, best pigs.
Yep, Void Pig. Yep, Void Pig.
I am very partial to Ghost Pig.
Void Pig is kind of the best, yeah.
It is.
Or also pigs that have the color of ears. It's like, how does it tie to? But then you realize it's because of the color palette.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, slight aside, not really aside, but like, just about See No Earned. If you have not played with See No Earned and turned in the package, you owe it to yourself to just go do that. Turn in the package and enjoy the piggy experience.
The full piggy
that's
experience.
Involved there. Yeah, talk to the piggy.
Yes.
Leave the end, come back, talk to the piggy again.
Yes.
It's worth your time. In practice, I promise.
Because you know why? Because Zoe and Board are amazing, and they put in so much like amazing polish into this game that you would never have to, but they do because they're great.
I am ashamed and proud to say I had no idea that existed until I don't know how many seeds I had ran, but I decided to check the package. I'm like, you know what? I should go talk to the pig. And I finally did. I'm like, huh, that's a thing. Wonder what happens when the pig wakes up. And found that out too, and I was very happy.
As you should be. I'll sort of scroll our way down. Okay. Sure, we're good. All right. We're sort of returning to semi-retired Fu. He can only be found as a starting character. Otherwise, he goes and plays high-stakes bingo with the naming ways. So that's...
I know that sounds a little funny because it's like there's 7 unique characters per seed, but the kind of way it plays out is that Fu is kind of only an option as like the starting character, right? But none of the other characters can roll as fusoya, so it just means there are less fusoyas per seed, essentially.
We've lowered the fusoya ratio.
Yes.
Yeah, fusoya is only going to shoot.
Allie, go ahead.
What's the difference between high stakes bingo and regular bingo?
I have actually played high stakes bingo. It's basically that the prize pots are really large.
Go ahead.
I'll say, is that like No Limit Hold'em, but with bingo?
Like you could win like I think like $5,000 playing bingo.
I'm here for this.
Look, I've watched my grandma play bingo with legitimately like 15 cards in front of her. I believe it.
Oh no, that's basically high stakes bingo. But anyway, we went off track. Awesome, if you please.
We only went off track because as we're tracking, we're going to be daubing bosses like you would bingo members. So it's only kind of off track. But yeah, Fu's only going to show up in, what's the math on it, about 1 in 12 seeds?
Yes.
Given that, he can only be the starter. So there are honestly, the majority of runners will never see a fusoya in this tournament. There's a high likelihood of that, which is interesting. Now, when a Fu shows up, you're really going to have to know how to play that fusoya seed. And so I hope folks do get their fusoya practice in, because it does change things dramatically. So it'll be very interesting to see how folks handle the different starts for all the different characters. But one of the things with fusoya is, if he's around too much, like Cecil, Edge, they kind of make the seed a little easier on Blue Moon. Fusoya just makes it too easy on all flag sets. So limiting him really makes it more of a puzzle, more of a challenge for the runners.
Yeah, and if you want a chance to practice, by the way, with a Fusoya opener, or really any character opener, you can take this flag string, or the Red Moon, which we'll talk about in a moment. But if you get a Red Moon flag string, you can append to either of them or modify them in, like, just throw the flag string into the web generator and just add the starting Fusoya to the flag string, so that you always get to practice with that if you want to practice. Because, yeah, the Fusoya opening is very different, because Fusoya cares about bosses, like literally any boss, because it gives him spells. And he has a lot of power up front.
All right. Now, we did mention a little bit about the glitches earlier. So we have the life glitch to assist with grinding. We also will have the sylph glitch to assist with any early game Rydias, and the backrow glitch to help out our physical fighters. Gwarp is also on, but remember that just because you have that key item doesn't mean that you're missing bosses and hanging out in the sealed cave cosplaying as a door.
Can I call out Possum on this? Because Possum loves this check. Boy, does he.
Hey, I'm not in Blue Moon. I don't have to love it or hate it. That's a y'all problem, not a me problem.
I mean, look, it's just like a 2-minute walk to get to your boss.
I think it's like
not even 2 minutes.
67 seconds or something.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad. It's like
It's
Zot 1.
fine. Especially if you've already done the warp glitch and then you don't have to even open the door and go into the crystal room.
Mm-hmm. It's just one of those that's like, we're so used to going down there to get the item, hoping it's useful, and then look at the boss, not just specifically to spy the boss. It's, as possible would say, boy, do I have better things to do. But
we also didn't bring this up earlier, but both flag sets are also force hook. So that's also going to be a lot of fun. I want to bring that up before we moved on.
Yes, no, and that's very nice to avoid some of those situations where in some boss hunt seeds, if you could get the magma key, you'd get the magma key, get underground, everything would be all good, and then you'd be like, wait a minute. There's a boss at the King Queen Eblin spot that I can't see unless I take my hook and walk all the way down that hook route.
Yeah, a couple of the kind of design philosophies, if you will, not just for Blue Moon, but Red Moon, everything as a whole, was highlighting Falcon percent, highlighting the force hook, but giving people the ability to get through it. Here's all your characters up front. You're going to have 5 for a hook route. It shouldn't be too hard. There will be some situations where it's still going to be a pain, but you're going to have that. And also, with it being a boss hunt, you're not going to have to worry about that King-Queen spot looming the entire suit and making you wonder, I wonder, is my boss there? Have I lost because I didn't see the boss at the King-Queen spot? That's gone.
also it adds the obligatory, yay, I can get underground now when you find the magma key. You're required to say that in every seed when, you find the key.
Yeah, like every time. Yeah. Like when you go into the Fame Arch and you get your freebie and you're like, wow, I can get underground. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Or my favorite. You go to Sheila and she's like, oh, you were looking for this?
You were looking for
and
this
you're like,
rock?
Hello?
Sheila just wanted a quicker way to go see Yang.
And then sort of our last few little notes, the Blue Moon will have the basic and freedom kits, so you'll have some utility items like potions and star veils and sirens and some 4 rages in case you run into a really cranky turtle. And this is true, and this part's a little true for both flag sets. No adamant armors this time around. We do have Spoon available for Edward, and we will have Supersmith from Kokol, and it could be anything. Could be scrap metal. Could be a Lightbringer, but you won't know unless you go forge.
If Edge isn't in the seed, it's always a Sunrise Boomerang. Confirmed.
Yeah, there will be races won and lost by folks forging and hitting versus folks not forging. The forge shop itself on Blue Moon is amazing. You can get things like Power Shirt, Zeus Gauntlets, Stardust Rods, Defense Swords, all of that. I guess on both moons it's the same, but that the shop is oftentimes far more valuable than the actual forge itself. If you hit, though, like all of a sudden, hey, that Sid that you've just been keeping around as an anchor, that Sid with a fiery hammer, is now your primary dealer of damage.
Yeah, some of those super forge weapons are really, really, really good. Especially if you have like a wide variety of characters. Like if you have a Sid and a Kmain and maybe a mage, and like the kind of the wider your hits are, I think the more interesting it is to go do that forge. Especially also if you can benefit from the shop because you have the money. But yeah, it just kind of adds another random element that you still have some level of control over, right? But that still makes the forge fun as opposed to it always being an X-Cal.
Yep.
Or nothing.
Mm.
And remember, Rydia is the least likely character to get something from Forge.
Yep, the only thing she can get is a Mist Whip.
Which usually you acquire even though you already have Stardust Rod. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it
this is how it works. You
Yes.
have Palom in your party as your Black Mage. You don't have Rydia. You get a Mist Whip.
All right. So why don't we scroll our way down and start talking about the Red Moon? So we put up an example generation up there of the Red Moon flags, but this is the first time for an official event. We're making use of our lovable and chaotic bot, Tricker, to use a special YAML to curate the flag set beyond what normal generation allows. So we have sort of two big customizations that we're doing with this. The first one is the boss hunts. So unlike Blue Moon, where bosses from the entire pool can be pulled, Red Moon uses a tailored boss pool to select only the more challenging bosses. So we have that same required Golbez and Gauntlet as Blue Moon, along with Baigan, Antlion, Mombomb, Kainazo, Maga Sisters, Valvalis, Rubicant, Evil Wall, Ashura, Odin, CPU, Wyvern, Ogopogo, Dark Knight Cecil, Dialunars, and Elements, and the that 1% chance of Water Hag, because it's funny. TM.
I'll just let you know, I have played 118 Red Moon Seeds so far. I still have not found a Water Hag yet. I'm still trying though.
Then you'll know that seed is truly blessed. There you go.
Exactly.
That was my one contribution to the Red Moon flag set. I'm like, can you make there be a 1% Water Hag chance? Because it's funny.
Of course.
But
I guess I'll lead off on this one. Possum came to me and was talking about this flag set, kind of the early iteration of it, and the whole boss hunt idea of Golbez and the gauntlet being required, and then throwing the worst that the game had to offer in as the challenging. How can we make this just painful as can be? And I mean, you look at this list of bosses. A lot of these bosses you're very happy to see early on in the game. You are not happy to see any of these much later. And that's kind of what this was tailored for. Was, as the game progresses, things get more difficult. Yes, you have levels and things, but this gets difficult as the game goes on. And I think that makes for a very interesting flag set.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that, Poydrak was the original one who suggested a potential YAML usage. And I think part of that was based off his experience with the Sunday Slapdash. So, huge shout out to Poydrak for that suggestion, because it really drove this idea And then, of course, a huge thank you for Martin for putting it all into the actual YAML and building it. I think it's turned out to be really fun with the bosses, because we're going to get to it later about the backrow glitch being off on this flag set, but good lord, CPU with a bunch of Zerkers with no backrow glitch, that is my waking nightmare on this flag set. Just cold sweat, pop up out of bed. That's no good. Get me out.
And that's why you have to deal with it.
Yeah, well, when we started talking about what bosses kind of to include, what kind of objectives, what bosses in general, like when we first started talking about this tournament in general, there were just too many of these bosses instead of having like 8 static, always the same, rude bosses. And I think that YAML idea was really clever, and it let us. I played around with it a little bit with Tricker to see what would work out. And yeah, so we were able to provide. This is very new for Tricker. They are seeds. So Tricker's acting more like a seed bot, right? With this Tricker, they are providing the seed and the flag string, and it is not rolled as mystery. All it's doing is just some extra curation for us for the bosses, and then from that we were able to riff off of kind of these starting characters. So I think I'll jump to that for just a second here. The way the YAML works, you always start with Cecil or Edge at a 45% chance each, 45.5, and then there's an 8.9-ish% chance for Fusoya start. It was supposed to be a 1 in 12. We kind of futzed the math a little. It's fine. Math is hard. But the way it plays out is that you start with one of these 3 strong characters, and you do not get the other 2 for the other 7. So you'll get a Cecil and then not Edge or Fusoya, and then 6 other distinct, other characters. And that really helped us, I think, with the treasure settings. It just really made for an interesting, every seed is different, basically. And that has a large impact, this starting character and what you're going to end up doing.
Yeah, I think this goes back to the whole idea of, that there's not going to be a standard kind of start for this. Yeah, you have, power in Cecil, Edge, or Fu, but all 3 play very differently at the beginning. We'll get to this part as well, but because vanilla equipment is on, Edge is ready to go right out of the gate. So you have power with him. Fu requires bosses, Cecil requires ordeals. So seeing all of that, and in a race mode where you're up against someone and hey, here's your 10-minute warning, here's your seed, there's your starter, and kind of running it in your head like, okay, it's Cecil, what am I doing? Like, when am I going to ordeals? When am I getting him online? How much do I try to find a shiny stick? Or Edge, where it's like, well, Edge can get me through the early game by himself. Do I need the characters? Do I need to loot? Do I need to shop? Do I just go? That's I think the allure of Red Moon is a lot of it has to do with these starting characters.
It leans very heavily on these starting characters, and also if you get access to kind of your early key items, if you get access to the Earth Crystal, if you get access to the Hook, especially because that shop, that gated shop is very strong depending on characters you start with, because the Tpro setting is it's pretty restrictive for what you might find for the party, to just get ready and going. So yeah, one of these starting characters is going to be pretty powered up, except Cecil. But getting the rest of everyone kind of ready to go is going to take some effort, and that'll very much change how you approach kind of the early and mid game of these seeds.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm gonna. Oh, there we go. But the rest of the flag's pretty much static. Only glitch, like you kind of mentioned, is the life glitch. Instead of the basic kit, we now have the notdeme kit to give you a little extra healing. No apples and chops. Looting has been changed from Twildish to Pro. Like we said, we don't do see nekkie on this one, so you do get your vanilla equipment. So K-Free is turned back on, So now you'll have to go and visit Rydia's mom after defeating Demist. And then we also have Spoon Flag, Super Smith, noadamants, those sorts of things.
I'll touch on items for a second. There is a little deviation between Red Moon and Blue Moon. One of them, you don't get tents in Red Moon. So
It's actually really relevant, yeah.
yeah, if you want camping gear, you better go shopping for it or figure out how to navigate around it. One of the big ones, I think, that people will realize, at least in Red Moon, because the life glitch is on, obviously D-Money is still in play. D-Money, because T-Standard is on, Sirens are still available. You have options for grinds. And early game Tella, obviously we know Tella enables D-Money. But because of that notdeme kit, you start with a pair of elixirs. So you actually are online for a D-Money right out of the gate. All you have to do is find Tella and a darkness crystal. So there's no, panic shopping, trying to find ethers or, things of that nature. You have the capability to do it right then and there. So, and we've seen seeds where that is the case. Where, hey, 15, 20 minutes in, guess what? Am I going down the hook route or am I going to the giant? Could be a thing.
Yeah, it could very much be a thing. But it still ends up depending on the characters, right? It's like, do I want the experience from the giant? Do I need the experience from the giant? Do I just have an edge and I can just get underground instead, or a fusoya? And then even then, kind of just touching on one more time about, how you're starting this the first, 30 minutes or so. I mean, one runner could choose to take every character, right, and then start doing checks and know that they have a tell in the seed and get really set up for a D-Machine grind. Another player, let's say it's an edge start, on the same seed could say, you know what, I have edge and I have Kmain. I don't care about anybody else. I can more efficiently go through starting ordeals and go through all of my checks because edge is kind of strong enough to solo a lot of these checks. And then I don't even know that there's a Tella in the seed, and so I'm not as prepared, but I'm more ready to, to gun down the hook route and then start finding Sirens. So, I mean, yeah, D-Machine is there and it's on the table for seeds that have Tella in it, but one, Tella has to be in the seed, and two, like, routing has to have kind of played out and darkness has to show up. There are going to be seeds where you both find a darkness crystal, and it's very obviously go do a D-Machine, but many of them I think are not. It's not going to be the obvious thing to do. It's not going to be like one straight line for both runners.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be another decision that you'll make is, okay, well, if I go do it, well, hey, guess what? I can check the bosses while I'm up there because I have the levels to do it. Or, like you said, you just go down and kind of play your standard game and, not to say that we've seen, double required bosses on the giant before, but hey, that can happen too.
It can. And it can also be a trap. It's easy to check that elements boss, right? And then be like, oh, do I kill this? And check the CPU boss?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Possum said, hey, look, it's a non-required CPU. Nah, I'm not killing this. I don't care what's behind it. Bye. Just no.
It's only 65,000 HP of big orb and like 12,000 of little orbs. It's terrible.
Fine. Is that the F word we were going for?
Yep. Fun. Fun.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
the only one we're allowed to say on
fine.
stream.
Fair and balanced. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of that briefly, Possum, backrow glitch. What does that change?
So basically, in order to make Red Moon more of a puzzle, and this is a primary deviation from Blue Moon. Blue Moon is about leveraging your power overwhelming. Red Moon is about figuring out a puzzle and adapting to whatever that puzzle is. Taking backrow glitch out is another piece of that puzzle. So normally you'd be able to put like a full moon on Edge's right hand or a Dorfax on Kmain and stick them in the back row and they'll do full damage. Well, that is gone. You are only going to be doing that partial damage to things like the Magus Sisters or Bygon's back arm or the bottom orb and the big orb in the CPU fight. A lot of bosses will really hamper your progress because that backrow glitch is off. So it's going to be very interesting to see, do characters like Kmain get a big boost because they can jump and deal full damage? Do, Drain Spears, Ninja Stars, good darks for Edge become things that you really want to keep a stack of? There's a lot of, kind of mental gymnastics you have to do to figure out how to best leverage your team based on the bosses that show up. You know, if you have Magus Sisters and you have CPU and Baigen, you know, that you have to get through, you may want to pick up a stack of, you know, good darts. You may want to keep a Kmain in anticipation of that. So it's a really big piece of the puzzle to me is that backrow glitch.
Yeah. I mean, that full moon still shoots up a lot in value just because if you do leave it on the edge, he can still hit the back row for full damage while it's equipped. And it's definitely not a bad weapon attack power-wise.
You're also going to get seeds where you have a party that looks like Cecil, Kmain, trying to think of his third Zerker. I guess Ed. No, you can't have Edge, right?
Yang.
So like, let's say Yang. Cecil,
Yang.
Cecil, Kmain, Yang, plus Anchor. How do you Zerk 3 of those characters? Right?
Carefully.
Because the backrow glitch is off. None of them can be backrowed. Unless this is where you might get creative of like either like, okay, well, I don't need Yang, for instance, or maybe even Cecil. I'll take Yang because I'll get levels from the giant, or I'll take Cecil because I won't get many levels this seed. So like that might be one solution of only having 2 Zerkers, or another might be I'll put an Artemis bow on Cecil instead, so that he can have a back row weapon. Like you're going to have to get creative with these parties, and definitely finding through practice.
Throw away Kane, take Edward, find the spoon, and make him cover Cecil. It's a thing.
I mean...
You mean make Cecil cover him?
Yeah, Cecil cover Ed. Yeah, just leave Ed and Yang in the front row. Yeah.
Spoonward is very powerful and also made of paper, made of glass, made of nothing.
We can't say made of glass because the glass hat's actually really good, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, Spoonward is probably the single biggest DPS source you would find in the average seed. The other thing is he has 60 health and rarely gets above about 900. So
and dies at Zeromus like nothing else.
Oh, he does have that magnet.
That's a big one. Yeah, big magnet.
Very big magnet
for counter nukes. Yeah.
So, but yeah, if for everybody that's listening, if you haven't heard, you know, like the last 30 minutes of us talking about this and hear all the ifs and buts and everything else in here, this is what is going to make these flag sets exciting, is that there are so many conditionals that come into play on these 2 flag sets that it's going to be a blast. Like, regardless of whether you're participating or not, there's not going to be a dull moment in either of these seeds.
Exactly. So now we've talked about the flags. Let's talk a little bit about the format. I'm going to scroll my way down here. Ooh, overshot it just a smidge. Hey, I got there. So the really big sort of idea is this sort of double idea, which is that there are 2 different pools that runners were allowed to choose from, depending upon which flag set they preferred. Then we also sort of requested that our more experienced tournament players would go for the Red Moon, and this idea was inspired by Zemus Zone 2 and the Hummingway Open, where the Hummingway Open kind of came about as an event for those who did not make it into Zemus Zone 2 to still have a place where they could go and compete. And we also found that the idea of using 2 pools of runners, along with letting us show off 2 different flag sets, also allows for a wider variety of runners to have those chances at deep runs. And alongside this, with the sort of the 2 pools idea, we also had the idea for double elimination. This allows people to have the ability to take a loss without being removed entirely from the tournament. And because of that, we really expect that the waning bracket matches are going to be just as fierce as the waxing bracket due to that win or go home nature. So those are sort of like 2 of the really big design concepts that we had when we were putting ZZ5 together.
Yeah, one of the really exciting things to me about this, with it being kind of a callback to the ZZ2 Hummingway Open sort of situation, was that I looked back, and that was kind of the first time I started watching Free Enterprise, and I got to see some runners who were new but really good. And out of that Hummingway Open, the finalists in that are two people who a lot of folks are going to know. Starman Random and Dia were the finalists in the Hummingway Open. So for those who want to compare like Blue Moon to Hummingway Open, there are Starmans and Dias in Blue Moon, and they are going to be so impressive to watch.
Yep.
I think it's so cool that we get to do this 2 Moon thing. And also huge shout outs to everyone. We got like what, nearly 70 people for
Yes.
Blue Moon. It's just absolutely incredible.
Where we'll be talking about the amazing amount of support in just a bit. Also, yes, I will go into chat. We will newspaper people. Shh. You are all going to do fine. It's fine.
Everyone's
I
saying
vote
that
just start
that they're going to go 0-2, but like only a quarter of people can go 0-2.
This is true.
3/4 of you will win.
Yes. And
I'd like to hope a fair percentage of you throw in a tie for good measure.
no ties. Don't make me have to do work.
I will get the chainsaw
Ooh,
of compassion.
Of compassion.
Of compassion.
yes,
Yeah.
the chainsaw of compassion. But and also we did like some other choices. Like for example, we decided to forego the concept of like the grand championship between the waxing and waning bracket winners. This allows us to have 4 very deserving champions by the end. Like here's the thing with me in double elimination: if you win that lower bracket, the waning bracket, you have put in so much work to get there, and I think you deserve to be the champion. Absolutely, 110%. Also, it does make it so that way the winners of the waxing brackets don't have to keep practicing for weeks on end to keep up with the folks in the waning. To answer your question, chat, though, if waxing and waning champions want to go and have a little, expo race for fun, they are allowed to do that, but no official grand finals.
Yeah, we're super happy to have 4 kind of tournament winners here, and also just from a scheduling perspective, like the place where we typically see double elimination, any folks that are familiar with the fighting game community, fighting games matches are done very, very quickly, and so there's really not a lot of waiting between like an upper and a lower bracket or a waxing and a waning. But for us, it takes a couple hours right out of a lot of people's times just for each match. So we really didn't want to have folks who were waiting up. I think it was up of like a couple of weeks, still practicing, still kind of being prepared, and also trying to keep the tournament itself within kind of a nice time limit, which I know we're just about to talk about, going with like RPG limit break and stuff.
Yes. So basically, because of the number of signups that we had, which absolutely exceeded our expectations, which means that y'all are amazing, that year after year, we still managed to have like 90 to 100 people who want to come and play our little randomizer ROM hack out of the thousands of games that exist out there. You blow us away every single time, and we cannot thank the community enough. But because of that, we are going to be extending the tournament. As for if we'll need to have like a break for the week of RPG Limit Break, that's going to be decided a little closer to that date. Once we know which runners will still be in the running, we'll sort of work that all out as we go. I will say that part of the reason why we went for a more condensed sort of format was because of RPG Limit Break. This is our first time kind of having to take them into account again. And it was a little bit of a challenge, and we'll figure out how best to do it. But, if we need to go a few extra weeks, we need to go a few extra weeks. We're going to do our best and have the most fun. So what we're going to be doing is the first week of this tournament is going to be our play-in week. Well, Allie, we'll get to that. We might just have to run over just a little bit. It's okay. But yes, the first week of the tournament is going to be a play-in week to even out our brackets. So there's only going to be a few matches to start, just 10 matches in the first week. But we hope by easing into the tournament, this is going to be a really effective way to give everyone involved, whether you're runners, your Restream team, or your admin, just a little extra time to adjust. Yeah, and there is a possibility of a break. We'll have to kind of see how that works out. So, but we're going to decide that a little closer to everything. I'll scroll down just a bit. we do have a few little changes, and when we start handing out like all the info docs to the runners, we'll have you all updated on this. But a lot of this was already in the rules. We're going to be asking that people after your match that you go and report the results of the race. This way, it makes it a little easier on us to kind of keep track of everything. So winner will post. Both winner and loser will be giving a little thumbs up to say that yes, those are indeed the correct results, and then an admin will add a check mark at the end to say yes, everything's all verified. And this way, it helps to just make things a little smoother for everyone. Solaris, I think this was your suggestion, kind of based off of Magic tournaments.
Oh, for this reporting channel,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, it's just a place for because with card game tournaments, after like me and my opponent are done, we both have a slip of paper that we would sign that said like, I went 0-2, I lost twice, my opponent won twice, but instead this would be at that time, right? So yeah, you'll just go to that channel and report that time, and then it's just kind of nice for us, so that we have one place that we can go. And where results don't get lost, and it's good for you as well, you the runner, because it means your opponent like thumbed up the results. You don't have to you don't have to worry about anything about that. So it's easy peasy. Just go ahead and do it. Make a habit of it, and we really appreciate it.
Yes. One other new thing is the ability for the runners to request a race review. Usually when we do what we call an admin review, that's usually when, for example, the most common reason is because someone cut off their VOD early and we had to be like, hey, can you just give us a local recording so we can see your Z fight? That's actually the most common time we do an admin review. But if there's like, yes, ties, chat is saying, or just missing footage, those are usually like the most common ways we have to do a request. But if you want us to take a second look at a race, you are absolutely welcome to request that. You could just DM any of us and let us kind of know which race this was. If you can have links to the VODs for us, that'd be great. Just a note though, Twitch's new policy for VODs is that they're only stored for 7 days for non-affiliate, non-partner, and non-turbo accounts. And so please try to get requests in within a week. Just to make it so that way those VODs aren't lost. Just as a reminder to everyone, though, you can avoid auto-deletion by highlighting those VODs to preserve them. So I'm also letting you all know that right up front. Last little note, we do want to just acknowledge that we do, we requested a lot of feedback from Adamant Cup. We had, like, surveys, we had feedback channels, so we wanted to say that, yes, we did really listen to you all, so two big changes that we made. We lowered our stream delay requirements to 10 minutes. This sort of keeps us with the randomizer tournament standard that you might see in other communities like Link to the Past randomizer, for example. And we're also going back to our standard set a period of 10 minutes between seed roll and gate drop. Some people wanted this as a way of better accommodating everyone, and we were absolutely happy to do that. And really, we do want to thank people who offer suggestions, who give us feedback. And really, our big thing... People saying that there are some LTP ones that go up to 20. It's okay. We've seen 10 around. We decided to go with 10 for now. But,
10 is good for us. 10 is a good number for us. We like 10.
Yes.
It saves 5 minutes for everybody, basically. Actually, 5 ahead and 5 at the start and the end. It's good. It's a good thing.
As to quote Escrut in chat, it is a 10 out of 10 choice. But really, just thank you everyone for the info, for the feedback. We always do appreciate it. And then we'll do one last little note before we get on to, I know what everyone is really here for. To see my pretty layouts, right? Right? That's why we're all here, right?
I want to answer a question
go ahead, please.
really quick before we go to that, which is going to be relevant to this, but there was a question about how the playing week is going to go.
Yes.
We'll be super clear when we get to it, but to say it in words, it's on the VOD. The plan is just, so if you imagine a 32-player bracket, when you add more people, or a 64-player bracket, when you add more people, you are adding another like week of brackets essentially. So it'll make sense when you look at it, but it's like when you get fill-in people, you're just adding in matches as if you were going to have like another round of brackets. That's what it's going to look like. So it's not, there's no like scoring or anything like that. It's just random seating. So unfortunately, some people will have to play this plan.
Yep. We could talk about this real quick about how the bracket was seeded. We are using Challenge, which we've used for the last few events to organize these tournaments. Basically, I took the names, I gave them a good shuffles, some shuffling. I gave it to Challenge, and I said, Challenge, this is your problem. You figure out how to organize everybody. So
yeah, we talked. Oh,
yes,
sorry.
go ahead. No, you can go ahead.
Oh, we talked about various ways that we could do seeding that wasn't completely random, and basically every solution added 3 weeks to the tournament. And so full random.
Full random. So, but we have one last little thing. Oh, go ahead, Allie.
Just to talk about full random, as Solaris said, trying to figure out another way to seed. I know that we've all discussed, well, it feels like sometimes things are weighted. Full random is better than any other option because it's fair. It might be terrible, but it's fair.
Yes. So one last thing to talk about, which is bracketology, which will be making a return. So bracketology is going to begin after this stream is wrapped up. You'll be able to go and do that in the Discord. What you're going to be doing is just choosing the entrance. That's all you got to do. Just choose the winners from the entrance. Entrance to bracketology will be choosing the winners based off of the racers. There we go. Since there's a lot to cover in the bracket itself, briefing and rules and JPEG files will be available in League Bracketology. No PDFs this time around. So we're going to have images instead. Have fun doodling on them, please. I love it. People doodle all over them. It makes me super happy.
People's doodles are amazing.
Yes. You will get cookies. I try to give out cookies for people who do nice doodles. So please doodle. So even though we're still going to be having this play-in week, we're going to have it. It'll be Tuesday. I think Poydrak was going back and forth between Tuesday and Friday. We'll figure it out. Friday, thank you. I don't know why that did not edit up here. I'm going to change that for us real quick. Apologies, you all get to see me edit this live.
We're doing it live?
There we go. Now it's edited. There. Now it edited with...
We did it.
We did it. It's Friday. Friday.
Do not get that song stuck in my head.
I will not, I promise you. Just so you know, any matches that have happened before, any matches that have started or taken place before you've made your submission, you will not gain points for those particular matches. So if you want all those points, get your matches in early. So good luck, happy guessing, and all right. I guess we'll wait to do the overlay reveals, and I guess we'll do what everyone is really here for. And that is our bracket reveal. So are we all extremely excited for this?
Absolutely.
Oh, very excited, yes.
I'm nervous. Last time this was
I'm here
last
to hear
time I was
Solaris
part of this, it was
I
a
was saying,
trial.
you're nervous for obvious reasons. You'll be fine.
Yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be great. I'm very excited. Slightly nervous.
All right, we're going to do our blue moon first. So let's go ahead. Actually, here, let me change this up. Yeah. So for the blue moon bracket, our first play match is going to be between Boney and Dr. Cossack. The winner of that is going to go on to face Zoe Vermillion. Our next matches are going to be Reckless Charlie versus Stoppable Force. We'll have Rowdy Sniper versus Saradin. We're going to have Smapty versus Zeke Highwind. Dathis versus Sheep Launcher. Mechalink versus Slippery. Raging Levine versus Professor Renderer. And John Burkhead versus TJ or Tjol. So, this is sort of our very first glimpse of the bracket. Yes.
That play-in is fierce.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Boney is incredible.
Yep.
And has been around Free Enterprise for a while. Had to take a little bit of time off, and not just good at Free Enterprise, but like is better at Trackmania than he is at Free Enterprise, and he's amazing at Free Enterprise. Absolutely, adore his streams and how good he is at video games. And then Dr. Cossack's my 2v2 partner and my mentor, one of them in this game. Like, that is an incredible play-in, and then the winner gets Zoe. Like, that top little portion there, wow.
There are a lot of great matches here, actually. I love those. I love this little quadrant we're at here.
Yeah, Chad is pointing out this. Yes, the Dathis versus Sheep Launcher for the Restream team pairing. I thought that one was pretty interesting. But yeah, we have like I said, I also think Charlie and Stoppable I think are really nicely evenly matched. I mean, basically everyone in here, I feel we have good solid matches where I don't know who's gonna win, and that's exciting.
I think so too. There's a lot of really close matches here, and also want to point out Mechalink and Slippery, also
Yes.
two runners that have been around a good long while, who are also really quite skilled. This is
To
pretty
answer
good here.
question for chat, for Blue Moon, there will be 4 play-in matches, and then there will be 6 play-in matches for Red Moon. So 10 matches sort of in that opening week, and then once those are resolved, then we'll move into the full round of 64 for Blue, full round of 32 for Red. The losers of those matches are going to go down into the waiting bracket, and then waiting bracket is again going to kind of go in rounds. We'll be posting links to the full brackets in the Discord. We'll also have put a page together and everything to make it so that way you can easily follow along. It's going to be a lot, but that's okay because you all deserve a lot.
I want to echo
Yes.
Solaris's on Mechalink and Slippery.
Yes.
We're both very familiar with Slippery because, well, Slippery
Yeah.
got to join us in our group of death in the last tournament. So.
And Team Ograx, he sure did.
Yep. So we know exactly what Slippery's capable of. So yeah, that's going to be an amazing match to watch. So.
All right, so for our next set, the second of the Blue Moon play-in matches is going to be Tallgrad versus the Blue Wizard. Whoever wins that will go on to face Neon Gray. Following that up, we'll have LaFaz versus Noob Tree, Stupid Sexy Flanders versus Funnel Cakes, Sorbius versus BG Rich 419, Friggy Bones versus Currant, J-Mac the Librarian versus Asmadi Games, Cecil 2 versus Elvin Sorrow, and the Bardic Panda versus Gurin. So again, lots of interesting matches here. We have a whole lovely range of people, and these are all going to be super hype.
Yeah. No, the one that jumps out at me right away is J-Mac versus Asmadi, because J-Mac has been doing really well in the Pink Puff League.
Yeah.
Just barely missed out on the top 2 spots this season, but was very close behind in 3rd place overall in the Pink Puff League, I believe. And Asmadi Games, based on his performance in the Adamant Cup, barely missing out on getting out of that group with, I believe Possum and Flurry.
Yeah.
Well, that was, honestly, those are both runners to watch.
I mean, everyone here is a runner to watch, and that's
yeah.
that's the joy of Blue Moon.
Kind of literally everyone here.
I will give a shout out. I really do like
kind of incredible.
Funnel Cakes versus Flanders. I think it's also going to be super interesting. Flanders is
yes.
one of our sort of tournament staples. Comes and goes, but always puts on a good show. Funnel Cakes did a fantastic job in the Pink Puff League. So again, this is going to be really fun.
I mean, I can't wait to somehow. I mean, we're not. But Flanders isn't going to be able to make a reprise of his triple telestrats from ZZ3.
I know, unfortunately.
I don't envy any of you doing bracketology right now.
Yeah, no, I don't either. Good luck with this. Figuring out.
But I'm also
especially this like tall Grant Blue Wizard neon kind of little corner right there. Good luck figuring that out.
But also, I'm super glad to see lots of new names and also returning names. We have like LaFaz, who hasn't been in a tournament for a little bit. I'm glad to see people come back. Is another big thing that ZC5 has done. But again, also brand new people coming in. Also, an absolute joy. People like Cecil 2 and Noob Tree. I'm so happy to see you all, and I hope you all have a fantastic time. So if we're good with that one, we'll move our way down to the next set. Our play-in number 3 for the Blue Moon is going to be Alchemy versus Starman. The winner of that then will go to face Beauty and Discovery. Then we're going to have Cubs, Cubs Rule 21 versus Gilmock, Dubword 47 versus E-Ninja 81, NG Dave versus Tana, Kedril versus Commander Leonhardt, Dahaka 2843 versus Apex Corvid, Y2 Sky versus Fiery Blizzard, and Endoto versus Big Dunka.
I'm loving this Dubword Ninja matchup, personally. Dubword is a really good friend of mine. Ninja's a really good friend of mine. Play, for Enterprise with them all the time. I think that is going to be so cool. Like, runners who very much so know each other. I'm really looking forward to that one, personally.
I always like a good friendly grudge match. But again, we have we were talking, about the Hopin. We have Starman who won that, going to be up against our wonderful Alchemy. I think that's going to be really, really interesting. But other good ones like Kedril and Commander Leonhardt, I think it's also super fun. We also have more new names, so like Tana and Dahaka. I hope that both of y'all have a lot of fun. And then we also have, we got some people who, like I said, who come around only occasionally, like Big Dunka back in the game. I also always shout outs to Dunka for helping us run the ladder.
Yeah, big shout outs to Dunka. We've seen Dunka recently join a couple ladder races. Just put that out there. But what Dunka's been up to? Who knows? That's kind of the interesting thing about runners that are coming back, right? That come back for big tournaments. It's kind of, you never really know where people are at with, their skill level, their interest, et cetera, et cetera. But obviously they're, interested to come back and play Apex Corvid as well.
Y2
really,
Sky, another person who
Y2
likes
Sky,
coming around, yes. Also, shout outs to Dunka for having the cat cam. Must watch races. All right, and we got
That's amazing.
One more section for Blue Moon. Our fourth Blue Moon play-in race is going to be between Curios and David, otherwise known as David B2. Whoever wins that will go up against Mole Boy. And then we'll have Vitasia and Poidrak, Jay Brun-TR versus IB Karma, Heart Gamer. He'll be going up against Softnum, Nitsy versus Flossy Fern. Just so we have full disclosure, Nitsky won. Flossy Fern used to be Jenica Strife, now goes by Flossy Fern. Excellent runners, both of them. Then we'll also have Warlink 05 versus Gambit 017. Lock Cole Live versus Soapbox Gamer. And then finally, Lenifus versus Dipwood. So, again, just Blue Moon, so full of the spice, and I'm so excited for it.
I'm just, wow. What? Excuse me? What is this?
By the way, really quickly, speaking of ladder, I also want to give a shout out for names Fiery Blizzard and Zeke Highwind, also two people that have been active recently in our ladder and our ladder Discord. Great place to play and practice if you want it. So
yes, and we are running Blue Moon races over there. So if you want some practice, especially if you're having to wait till oh yes.
Yeah, well, so that's ending, and we're taking a break. We're
taking a break.
Yeah.
Okay,
we're
that's
taking
fine.
a break. We've gotten really good feedback from this one though, or like really good activity from Blue Moon Seeds. This makes me want to do this again and maybe extend it into tournament season. But we didn't exactly know when the tournament was going to start when we set up the ladder season, so there is going to be a 2-week ladder break. But practice if you want practice. Asyncs. Pickup races.
Gosh, all the asyncs and pickup races. Yeah.
But anyways, I digress.
It's fine. But yeah, I mean, I know, full disclosure, Poydrak did get to see this a little bit before everyone else to be able to do the bracketology. Was very excited for his matchup with Vitation. I think that one's going to be really, really fun. Also, Nitsy and Flossy Fern, I think is also going to be a super fun match.
If I'm remembering right, Poydrak Vitasia is like a rematch of like a matchup from LHL, I believe.
Probably.
I think that was the thing that happened in the brackets of LHL.
There are a few other names here that fascinate me. I love seeing Locke and Karma both kind of in this little quadrant. Two runners known for being sort of prolific.
Yes.
Rando players, especially Locke. Known for doing his like randomizer of randomizers, basically. Plays everything, basically. Also Karma in like 3 separate Final Fantasy tournaments at the moment. 2 very good runners. And I'm also fascinated seeing Nitsy and Flossy Fern against each other. Nitsy being one of our long running standbys, and same with Jenica, both kind of coming back.
Yes.
You know, folks that come back for tournament season. Yeah.
Always fun. And speaking of like folks who came back, also we have Dipwood in the running, but have him along. And really just, and then of course, like, we have like people like Soapbox, Letifice. Everyone is so good. Like I said, I'm also excited. I know Hart, he's been putting in work during the Pink Puff League. So really just everyone in here has been doing a lot of really good work. And again, like, I can't predict how this is going to go, and it's going to be fantastic because of that.
Can I just say that I like that the robot put the 2 names with numbers in it in the same...
Yes, Warlink and Gambit? Oh, that would... I'm sorry, I like... That also, fantastic matchup! What the heck? Our robot overlords know how to pick them.
Yeah, here's another... You know what? Bracketology, good luck.
Good luck.
I keep saying that, but good luck.
Good luck.
I mean, my plan was already to roll dice, but now it's even more to roll dice.
Roll extra dice.
Yeah, I just want to say whoever gets out of Blue Moon as either the waxing, the waning champion, a finalist, a semifinalist, whatever it is, they're going to have earned it, because this is brutal. That's a lot of names that are really good, and I look at a lot of the names on this list in Blue Moon, and like, I've lost a lot of ladder matches to people that are listed here, and that's terrifying. Just how good everyone in here is. It's going to be really, really fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Terrifying, but also exciting. That is scary.
Speaking of terrifying, but also exciting, I think we should maybe talk about the Red Moon.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
So, let me transition on over.
I'm waiting to see your name and
all right.
immediately.
So, for our first play-in... So, for our first play-in match for the Red Moon, we're going to have Peasants, OMFG, versus Genghis Khan. The winner of that will go on to face Dakar Smash. After that, we're going to have, sort of going down the list, we also have Beer Nerd versus... Sorry, here. Let me actually do play-in matches all first. We have Naitu versus Cyrac. Which this is the one that made me laugh the most. Because these two have been going at it, like, basically as long as Free Enterprise has been around. And the fact that they get one of the Red Moon play-in matches made me laugh really, really hard. And also we're going to have Plumerian Knight versus Luf. Will be another play-in match. Okay, now then for the round of 32. So like I said, a winner of Peasants and Yangus is going to go on to face Dakar Smash. Then we're going to have Beer Nerd versus Dragus, Harumph versus a Stone Dingley, Zalde versus Solaris. There you go.
Yep, there I am.
The winner of Nightdew versus Zyrak will go on to face Direwolf. Bad Karma versus Aikir. The winner of Plumeria and Loof will go on to face Scratch Dragon. And then, Possum, you get Mike 34 for your match.
Yeah, Mike, who's been kicking my redacted all over the place in both blue and red. I'm so thrilled.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm over the moon about it. Uh-huh.
Yeah, like Carmen said, we have a little bit of a Lilith Rod group Redux, which, by the way, if you don't remember Lilith group, the most balanced of all AC groups. So, I think that's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, that's the one group where half the group went 3 and 2, the other half went 2 and 3.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll say I'm less immediately panicked this time, though. But instead of an immediate just a gunshot, oh my god, it's more like, oh, I have to do that, and then that, and then that, and then, oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah. This is yeah.
It is.
A lot of good. There's a lot of names here.
There's a lot of names. There's a lot of spice. It's all going to be really, really amazing. I know Yangus is a little bit of a newer runner going up against one of our peasants who kind of comes around for tournaments. I think, though, I want to see that have some real interesting sparks fly there. Again, Beer Nerd versus Dragon is another sort of 2 tournament staples. I think is going to be a lot of fun. Harumph and Stone Dingley, also fantastic. Looking down this entire lineup, I'm like, this is all great, and I'm so excited for it.
I see a lot of commentary in my future.
So much commentary.
So much commentary.
So much commentary.
Beer Nerd and Dragus.
Yeah.
There's Scratch Dragon. We've always got Dragus and Scratch Dragons, speaking of names who always come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Real quality stuff here. I mean, really everywhere. We keep saying it, but it's just oh my god, literally everywhere. Every matchup.
Everything is
blue or red.
Yes.
Everything is amazing, but also kind of on fire.
Yes. Yes, that's a good way to describe it. But anyway, let's do the second half of the Red Moon. So for our play-in matches, we're going to have Tybalt versus Microcorgs.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
For again, talking about returning people, we're going to have Bahi versus Woo Bear. And then Zilch versus Deshmoo. So all of these are really exciting play-in matches. And then the winner of Tybalt and Corix is going to go on to face Rex Banner. Then we're going to have Asuka and McBain face off. Couch versus Rybon. Infinius versus Aizen. The winner of Woobear and Kobahi will go on to face Klopfer. Coffee and Chocobos versus Judge Joe. And then the winner of Zilch and Deshmoo will go on to face Lord Bobbery. And then finally, Flurry versus Pyre.
Keep me far away from this is terrifying.
Yeah, Coffee and
Flurry-
Chocobos and Joe were my number 2 and 3 ranked folks going into this. For them to match up in round 1 or round 2, that to me is whew.
Yeah,
That
you have
match
to
is
take those.
fire.
Yeah, you have to take those names, and then also consider Flurry and Pyre also right next to each other. These are 4 people that are the top of the ladder, basically. Kind of all in one very tiny little corner.
People are pointing out we do have a possible Rex Banner versus McBain rematch. Ooh, could happen. Don't tie this time.
our robot lords understand, okay? They give us what we want. At least the chance is there.
That's true. At least the chance is there. But, again, also, I love the Couch and Rybon. That's, really good old school, new school battles. I love those sort of things. I also do want to shout out Asuka being our female representative here in the Red Moon, going up against McBain, I think it's going to be really, really fun. I know Asuka's been putting in a lot of work with training. I think it's going to be really, that's going to be a really fun matchup right there.
Absolutely. It's going to be a hype one to watch.
Yeah, all of these are going to be so hype. Like Flurry and Pyre. I can't decide which one I'm more excited for.
When I started playing Free
Yes.
Enterprise is around when Tybalt and Korg. I
Yes.
sort of befriended-ish and started playing against them frequently. There was table salt, and then our campfire races that we'd started doing afterwards. So to see Tybalt and Korgs face each other is also kind of funny to me. And then speaking of also around the time that I had been playing, when I was first watching, seeing like Wu and Kobahi against each other, it's like names that I would have recognized when I started playing Free Enterprise. So it's just, it's pretty fascinating.
Again, to those of you playing bracketology, good luck.
Yep.
The whole bracket is just fantastic. And you know why? That's because we are an extremely lucky community that has a whole bunch of really, really amazing people in it. And y'all are the reason why we do all this. Like, why we put in, like, literally hundreds and hundreds of hours making these events, because y'all really deserve it. And y'all, come back time and again. And again, I say this before, like, I am always floored that people want to play our little randomizer when there's so much else out there.
Yeah, especially given like it is literally tourney season. Like every RPG
Yes.
randomizer I can think of is running some like huge tournament right now. For 106 people to say like, yeah, I want in here. We appreciate y'all.
Y'all are amazing. So we got one last little thing. This is Scala wants to have fun hour. Let me make sure. Yes, music is all there. Great. There we go. No. All right. So one little fun thing I get to do. Which is, I get to show you all the layouts. So hi, welcome to our new layouts. They are really fun. I've been working super duper hard on them, and I hope that you really enjoy this. Yes, as you can see, because of how things are set up this time around, for our bosses, we have this really fantastic. This was Flurry's idea, was to sort of do like the bosses as images, and then I went in, made them very pretty for everyone. Also, we do have a new sprite. This is a sprite just for us, which is this little gauntlet sprite here. Also, yes, we of course have the beautiful light ups. So many thank yous to the wonderful Captain Uhu who helped us put this together. And and also to everyone involved, all the Restream leads and the admins who helped me iterate. I forget how many variants we went through, but it has been so much work, but I think it's definitely pays off. I think it's digital stained glass is my favorite aesthetic, so I'm really, really excited. Oh, Xenocat, do I reveal it? You're on the overlay, so I'll leave it up to you. Do we reveal the meme?
I don't think we need to reveal the meme right now, but
Okay. There is a meme hidden somewhere. If you're on the
There is a
Restream
meme.
team, have fun finding it.
It may appear during the tournament.
It will probably appear during the tournament. Knowing our team, unfortunately, you all can't see, but if you're part of the Restream team, there is a super cool setup for how you pick the bosses, so I can just go whoop, swap. So this is our Blue Moon, but we had to completely go in on the theme. So we'll also show off Red Moon. As you can see, using all hot colors, whereas Blue Moon uses all cold colors. And there are, of course, also, we'll have a little. Which here? I'll let y'all decide. Which waning would you like to see, red or blue?
I say blue.
Blue?
I will answer the question correctly. I will say yes.
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 Oh, chat wants to see red waning. I'll let you see both. It's fine. Red waning, again, just a little darker. This is kind of what we decided to do, is to do sort of this little slightly darker effect for both. So you could easily tell from a glance which one we're on. Blue waning is kind of the same. Again, has this nice sort of darker blue. So we had a lot of fun with this. But, give me 1 second. Ali and Zunica have been my nice little representatives on the overlay for my comms. You're my comm people. I realized that I did not show you all this. There you go. I did not give you all a live feed. It's fine. We all got there. It's fine. But we have to kind of show off the piece de resistance, don't you all think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, does
what?
this mean Posma and Solaris are going to race right now?
I don't know.
Nope.
No.
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 It's like you got commentary between me and Allie right here. You got Restream.
Oh
I mean,
God.
we're ready.
Martin, I think you're on tracking.
Yeah, you're on tracking.
Oh, okay. I can push buttons.
There you go.
I can do that.
But hold up. We have to have the actual. So I have to make everyone vanish up here. So all right, everyone has vanished. All right. Let me actually swap this back to blue waxing real quick, and then let me change up the music because we have the true, to me anyway, piece de resistance. Which is, give me 1 second. Our loading screen! You have no idea how hard it's been for me to keep this under my hat. Yes, only the shiniest of boys for you all.
It's so great.
You still work entirely way too hard.
Look, I
True.
completely dedicated my... Look, I got the chance to basically make the layout that I wanted. This is for blue waxing. And then I will let you all know the secret. So here's the fun secret. So the little sort of like white space fillers there with the moons. Those are all the phases of the moons. So we have, you know, full moon. So it goes from new upwards. So new moon, crescent moon, quarter moon, gibbous moon, and then full moon. So, oh yeah, we'll also have to reveal the secret crystal textures at some point. But here you go. All the moons are actually gemstones. That's the little secret. Because I thought that was really fun. So, in case you're curious, it's Star Sapphire, Tanzanite, Paraiba Tourmaline, Aquamarine, and Moonstone for the waxing, and then for the waning, which you can see the moons go in the different direction. That is, again, Star Sapphire for the new moon, and we have, I'm going to not be able to pronounce this properly, Dumor Tyrite, Lapis Lazuli, and Turquoise, and again, Moonstone for the full moon. So, we had a lot of fun with this. But you know what? We needed someone to represent the red moon, right? I think so.
Yeah. It's just it's the moon. It's Moonimus, right?
Yeah.
Who do you think we could have that could represent the red moon?
Kane
Does
and
it
his
have a
fantastic
shirt?
hair.
Unfortunately, there is a shirt involved. But this one goes out to all my fellow Golbez fans. This was a lot of fun to put together. So I'm sorry it's not shirtless Golbez. It is helmetless Golbez, though, which I had a lot of fun designing. This was...
Look, this is well-armored
yes.
Golbez.
Well-armored
okay,
Golbez.
Let's be real. This is still... Yes.
me trying to be like, all right, how big do the shoulder pads need to be? Yes.
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 Yes. Which the fun thing with Cecil was kind of designed around the Amano art. Golbez kind of came more for the models that he has in Dissidia and the DS version. So it's two different kind of interesting aesthetics. So the red moon stones for the moons are Star Ruby, Garnet, Rubellite Tourmaline, Red Beryl, and Moonstone. Again, kind of keeping with the theme for waxing. And then for waning, there we go. You have, again, Star Ruby, Carnelian, Red Agate, Jasper, and Moonstone. So I really do hope that folks enjoy the layouts. They were an absolute joy to put together. Even though they were so much work, like all the work forever.
I mean, the detailing, the colors, the hair, the hands, the flames coming out, the detail on the armor. I didn't even notice the moonstones, and I swear I'd noticed so many details. The crystals behind both the characters, right?
Yes, let me actually...
The SNES layout colored...
Yes!
You named it... there's a word for it, I can't think of it right now. They look like the buttons at the top there.
Oh,
like,
yes.
There's a lot of details here.
The quatrefoil, I believe is the term.
Yeah, that's the word.
Actually, here, I will, because you can't see them, I will actually take 2 seconds. And, I am looking for image source. We're editing it live. It's fine.
Doing it live.
Doing it live. Because I realized, yes, you don't get a chance to see the window otherwise. So, there's the window without anything. So that way you can see the really fun elemental effects that are on everything. With the red crystal having fire inside of it, the blue crystal having the ocean, the yellow wind crystal has it's actually a sunrise. That was a little more abstract. And then the green crystal has a forest inside of it. So.
And the clouds and the stars. And,
yes.
Pretty much all
the
great.
cloud and the stars are actually, that is carried forward through everything. That background is the same on absolutely everything. It's sort of this interesting little bit that ties everything together. Ooh, that is actually pretty. Yeah, it would actually look good as a phone lock screen. Maybe I'll release some things for funsies. But that kind of brings us to the end. And I really can't thank you all enough for coming through. I also, of course, want to thank my absolutely amazing panel of Allie and Possum and Solaris and Xenogut and Martin for coming along with us. So, really, you all are fantastic. You all watching are fantastic. Everyone who's going to be playing is fantastic. The community is really fantastic. We will have links to the brackets, links to everything that you kind of need in the Discord. Again, join the Discord. Also, small thing, but I think it's great. We now have a dedicated Discord link. So now you can find us at discord.gg/ff4fe. We made it very easy for you now.
We've made it.
We made it!
Yay!
Yay! So, let us go. I know exactly where we're going. Moonblaze Wolf is preparing for being over at Midwest Speedfest, so we're going to take everything there. So thank you all, and may the moons bless you in the tournament.